Saffron shawls, saffron turbans, cries of Jai Shri Ram. In a matter of days, the anti-hijab protests in Karnataka spread from Udupi to 12 districts across the state. The protests were all strikingly similar. The demand was that young women in hijab should not be allowed in classrooms.
Never we did not come to the college wearing a saffron shawl. Today, as they are wearing the hijab, against that we are wearing the saffron shawl.
On February 8th, many, like the student of the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial College in Udupi, gathered outside the college gate. Dressed in saffron scarves and turbans, they demanded their Muslim classmates discard the hijab in campus. If this didn't happen, they warned they would wear saffron shawls to class.
I was outside the MGM college in Udupi on February 8 as the situation got volatile. Around 50 women sporting the hijab on one side and more than 100 men wearing the saffron shawls on the other. As the college authorities stepped in to calm tempers, conversations with students made it clear that this was not a spontaneous protest where they went and bought saffron shawls. This was a planned agitation.
The plot unravelled at the Ajamma Cafe outside the MGM college. Hindu Jagrana Vedike members led by this man, Divisional Secretary Prakash Kukkehalli, turned up to collect the saffron shawls that they had given MGM college students. 2 days before this standoff, a message was circulated among students on WhatsApp. TNM has accessed the message in Kannada which said, "We are aware that the hijab problem is there even in MGM college. We need to end the issue within this academic year. All students must compulsorily on Monday bring saffron shawls and keep it in their bags until the organizers send instructions." At the MGM college, which had allowed hijab inside classrooms for many years, it was apparent that the Hindu Jagrana Vedike was organizing the students. But what about the 25 odd other colleges across the state to which protests had spread? Were these protests sporadic or were they orchestrated? Because when the hijab case came up at the Karnataka High Court, the state government said that one side insisted on the hijab when the other side wants saffron shawls, equating the two and saying that it's now a law and order situation. The hijab row started here. On December 27th, 8 girls who wore the hijab to class at the Government PU College for Girls in Udupi were asked to stand out.
The girls and their families insisted they had every right to wear the hijab because the college rules did not explicitly stop them. The college and the college authorities led by the BJP MLA Bhat hardened their stance and barred these students from the classroom. The SDPI-backed Campus Front of India came forward to support the girls, but other Muslim organizations in Udupi wanted some sort of compromise. The CFI rejected this idea and so did the girls.
What about our studies, sir? Actually, they are getting the education. We are not getting education. We are outside of the classroom, sir.
Threatens everything.
Our own friends are against
Opposing us,
against us, complaining against us.
We have lost so many friends because of this, sir. Like we had so many non-Muslim friends. We used to share our food together. We used to gossip. We used to sit together in the class. But now there was nothing Muslim and Hindu at that time, sir. But now I don't know. Everything has changed. College people just divided everyone, sir.
The Udupi College says that they've had a uniform for the last few decades and have submitted pictures and documents dating back to 2006 to the High Court. The girls, however, insist that not allowing them to sit in class is a discrimination of their rights and say that Islam mandates them to wear the hijab. So while the matter is in court, the timeline of the case is important. The girls were barred from classes from the last week of December and they approached the High Court on January 31.
During that 1 month, although the Udupi issue was reported on quite a bit, there were no major protests anywhere else except for in one college in Chikmagalur where students came wearing saffron shawls and a few sporadic ones across Udupi. On Jan 21st, the Hindu Jagrana Vedike warned of saffron shawl protests across the state. But it wasn't up until Jan 31st when the case reached the High Court that these saffron shawl protests spread from the coastal part of Karnataka to every other part of the state. On February 3rd, over 20 girls from the Government Pre-University College in Kundapura in Udupi district were suddenly stopped at the gates of their college by their own lecturers. The college that had allowed hijab until then suddenly stopped.
ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಹಿಂದೂಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಡೇಸ್, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್, ಆ ಡೇಸ್ಗೆ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ಓಣಂ ಇದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಹೋಲಿ ಇದೆ, ನೋಬಡಿ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್, ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್. ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ನಮ್ದು ಹಿಜಾಬ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಸ್ಲಾಮಿಕ್ ರೂಲ್, ನಮ್ದು ಪಾರಂಪರೆ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಈಗ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ತನಕ ಆಗ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು ಅಪೋಸ್? ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಪೋಸ್?
ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಂತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಬರಬಾರ್ದು, ಗೇಟಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಮಕ್ಕಳಂತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ರವರ್ಸಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್?
ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಭೇದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಅವರು ಮನಸ್ತಾಪ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಕಲಿಯೋ ಬದಲು ಅವ್ರ ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
The same day, students at a college in Bhadravati in Shivamogga district wore saffron shawls to the campus. On February 4th, the Bhandarkar's Art and Science College in Udupi stopped girls wearing the hijab after protests from boys in the college who wore saffron shawls to classes. This despite the college handbook allowing scarves in campus. From February 3rd, these protests spread like wildfire. Not just the ABVP and the Hindu Jagrana Vedike, but other Hindu organizations too jumped in, mobilizing students to wear saffron shawls and stop their classmates in hijab. Organizations like the Shri Ram Sene and Bajrang Dal too jumped in, prodding and guiding students to organize protests. In Kalburgi, when Congress legislator Kanis Fatima led a protest demanding that women should be allowed to wear hijab inside classrooms, the Shri Ram Sene countered her with a protest of their own.
ಸಮವಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನು ಧರಿಸದೆ ನಾವು ಬುರ್ಕಾವನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಜಾಬನ್ನು ಧರಿಸಿ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಾದರೆ ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಶಾಲಾ ಮಂಡಳಿ ವಜಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರ TC ಕಿತ್ತಿ ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಅಥವಾ ತಾಲಿಬಾನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ.
In North Karnataka district of Vijaypura, Hindu Jagrana Vedike led protests at the GRB Degree College. At the IDSG College in Chikmagaluru, it was the ABVP that held the protest. At the IDSG College here in Chikmagaluru, where we had seen confrontation between two sets of students, one set of students who were insisting on wearing hijab inside the classroom and the other set of students countering that, saying that if they do not remove the hijab, then they too will continue donning saffron shawls inside classrooms.
ನೀವೀಗ ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಪರಿಷತ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಹೌದೌದು.
ಸೊ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ, ಈಗ ಸ್ಯಾಫ್ರನ್ ಶಾಲ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಹಾಗೆ?
ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಜನ ಬಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಇದ್ರೆ.
ಈ ಪಟ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಓನ್ ಇದ್ದದ್ದು. ಬಂದ್ರೆ
ನೀವೇ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡು?
ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ಸಂಘಟನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಇದು
ಯಾವ ಸಂಘಟನೆ?
ಜಾಗರಣ
ಜಾಗರಣ
ಉಡುಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಂತ ದುರ್ಗಾದೌಡ್ ಎನ್ನುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ನೀಡಲಾಗಿತ್ತು.
ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟವರೆಗೆ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತು
ಬಂದ್ವಿ.
In Hassan Government Home Science College, ABVP leaders asked Hindu students to come together for a cause. In PS College in Mandya, a group of students and outsiders heckled Bibi Muskan Khan. Muskan, standing up to this mob, has become the defining images of this protest. While Muskan's bravery was celebrated, on the other side, fake news was spread about her, deliberately confusing her with JDS leader Najma. Najma's pictures without hijab were portrayed as Muskan.
We spoke to one of the boys who was chanting Jai Shri Ram behind Muskan, and he told us that WhatsApp groups were used to mobilize the crowd there. As Muslim groups came forward to defend the girls' right to education, Hindu groups organized themselves across the state to further communalize the narrative.
These organized protests were projected to the Karnataka High Court as spontaneous outpouring of Hindu sentiments. The Advocate General of Karnataka told the High Court that it was only after the students from Udupi College went to court that some students started wearing bhagwa and saffron shawls to college, saying that this is also our religious symbol, and this led to commotion and disturbance. This made the court remark that it's important to safeguard peace and tranquility. Whatever the court decides, the hijab row has now completely polarized the student community across Karnataka to a large extent, and the repercussions of this could be felt for a long time to come. The News Minute has been closely following the hijab row for many weeks and has been continuously reporting on it from the ground. Ground reports like these and long format stories require a lot of time and resources. The only way to keep media independent and unbiased is through your support. So to do so, become a member of the Newsminute community and do subscribe to our YouTube channel.